murder, and I just want you to know I'm really sorry. And I hope you give me...
Maybe I should have killed 400 or 500 people, then I would have felt better. Then when I felt like I really offered society something.
Roof, who is white, is accused of shooting 9 black people to death last year.
Mass shootings have become an unsettling phenomenon in the modern world. With each tragic event, the assailants are brought to justice if they don't exit themselves. They often face life sentences without the possibility of parole. Beyond the headlines and horror lies a complex and disturbing reality: the minds of mass shooters. When faced with sentences, how do they react? Do they show empathy, regret, or something more sinister?
Today, the James Holmes murder trial heard more from the defendant in his videotaped interview with a court-appointed psychiatrist. Holmes had pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity in the Colorado movie theater massacre that left 12 people dead and 70 injured.
One of them is James Holmes, a neuroscience graduate student at the University of Colorado. He began experiencing significant mental health issues. It includes visual hallucinations, paranoia, and homicidal thoughts. He sought help at the university, but later disengaged from treatment. Holmes dropped out of his PhD program just weeks before the shooting. On the night of July 20th, 2012, he entered a midnight screening of The Dark Knight Rises in Aurora, Colorado. He released tear gas into the theater and opened fire. Then he eventually killed 12 people and injured 7 others. Victims ranged in age from 6 to 32. Holmes's trial was a lengthy and complex process, with his defense pleading not guilty by reason of insanity.
Go through your mind. Just to get it done. Heart pumping, adrenaline racing, no. Calm, keto. Calm and collected. Calm and collected.
I heard a scream.
You heard a scream?
Yeah.
Did you see anyone fall from being hit?
Oh.
Really?
They got down kind of behind the seats pretty fast.
You didn't see anyone actually hit by bullets or shells or shot?
I saw the one wounded guy they carried out.
His behavior in the courtroom was often described as emotionless, detached, and bizarre. Despite the insanity defense, the jury found him guilty of 24 counts of first-degree murder. There are 140 counts of attempted murder and 1 count of possessing explosives. The court rejected the insanity plea. It was concluded that he was mentally stable enough to understand the consequences of his actions.
Formally sentenced today. By law, James Holmes will be sentenced to life without parole because a jury couldn't agree on the death penalty. Still, he could be sentenced to an additional 3,300 years for attempted murder.
He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole after the jury could not unanimously agree on the death penalty. Next, Charles Manson, one of the most notorious criminals in American history.
Do you feel blame? Are you mad? Do you feel like Woods about French?
He orchestrated the murders of actress Sharon Tate and several others at her home, as well as the following night's killings of Leno and Rosemary LaBianca. Manson did not physically commit the murders. He directed his followers to carry them out. He was arrested along with several of his followers after investigations linked them to the murders. There was a key witness named Linda Casabian who testified against them. She had been involved in the events but did not participate in the killings. Manson exhibited erratic, manipulative, and theatrical behavior throughout the trial. He frequently interrupted the trial by making strange statements.
From your words, as Mr. Emmons quotes them in this book, it's clear that you were guilty of murder, and yet he says in all his conversations with you, he never heard you express remorse. Have you never felt it?
Remorse for what? You people have done everything in the world to me. Doesn't that give me equal right? I can do anything I want to you people at any time I want to, because that's what you've done to me. If you spit in my face and smack me in the mouth and throw me in solitary confinement for nothing, what do you think's gonna happen when I get out of here?
Manson often claimed to be misunderstood or suggesting that society, not him, was responsible for the murders. He once famously declared, "The children that come at you with knives are your children. You taught them. I didn't teach them."
Being. I don't fit in society and I am incompetent. I'm definitely incompetent.
No, that's not what I said.
Well, I say that. I say that. No, there's nothing wrong with being incompetent because you don't have to do as much. If you're competent, then you got a lot to do.
Next, Dylan Roof. He became infamous for his racially motivated attack on June 17, 2015. He attended a Bible study session at the church in Charleston, South Carolina. He murdered 9 African-American parishioners in a premeditated act of racial hatred. He specifically targeted this church due to its historical significance in this community. Roof fled the scene but was captured without resistance on the following day in Shelby, North Carolina.
What? Well, I mean, I know it's tough sometimes to say.
It's not that I don't want to say it because I don't want to make myself seem guilty. I just don't really like saying it.
His behavior in court was detached and emotionless. He appeared unfazed by the gravity of the charges against him or the testimony of survivors and victim family members. His decision to self-represent was seen as an effort to push his extremist views rather than seek any form of legal defense or rehabilitation.
There has been a verdict reached in the Dylan Roof.
That verdict is death. After roughly 3 hours of deliberations, a jury of 3 black members and 9 white members agreed unanimously that Dylan Roof deserves to die.
On January 10th, 2017, the jury sentenced Roof to death. He became the first person in U.S. history to receive a death sentence for committing a federal hate crime. Another shooter, Nicholas Cruz, has been a highly publicized figure due to his tragic actions. His early life was marked by significant instability and behavioral problems.
It's truly disturbing video of the Valentine's Day suspect wielding a BB gun in his backyard. Nicholas Cruz can be seen methodically firing off practice rounds. He is shirtless and wears just boxer shorts and a Make America Great Again cap.
Out like a sore thumb, and people feared him.
Over the years, police were called to the Cruz household multiple times due to his aggressive behavior. On February 14, 2018, Cruz carried out one of the deadliest school shootings in U.S. history. He entered the high school armed with an AR-15 style rifle. He opened fire, killing 17 students and staff members and injuring others. The attack lasted just over 7 minutes, and he fired over 100 rounds. Cruz left his weapon behind and attempted to flee the scene. His actions stunned the nation, as reports emerged that numerous warning signs had been missed by authorities. As the judge handed down the sentence of 34 consecutive life terms, one for each victim, he showed little to no reaction. He looked down and avoided eye contact with the courtroom.
May I take off my mask? Sure. I am very sorry for what I did, and I have to live with it every day. And that if I were to get a second chance, I will do everything in my power to try to help others. And I am doing this for you, and I do not care if you do not believe me. And I love you, and I know you don't believe me, but I have to live with this every day. And it brings me nightmares, and I can't live with myself sometimes, but I try to push through because I know that's what you guys would want me to do. I hate drugs, and I believe this country would do better if everyone would stop smoking marijuana and doing all these drugs.
Many people question the sincerity of his apology and the authenticity of his emotions. So, what do you think? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.